Hello there, my beautiful thinking people, you. Welcome to Advocation X, episode 7. Tesla Newsworthy Broadcasts. Please hit the like button, subscribe for growing content, become a member, crush that bell while you're at it, so you don't miss anything, okay? So, huge disclaimer. Huge. This channel, let's try that again. This channel is opinion-based on facts. No comments will be answered unless you are a subscribed member of the channel, okay? So, questions to tackle here now. Tesla looks to be going bankrupt. Finally. Everybody was waiting for this to see if this was going to occur. It looks like it's coming our way now. Supercapacitors. My previous thoughts versus Elon Musk's statement that they are unnecessary at this time. The capex on Model Y and where it's going to affect Tesla. YouTube channel, Hyperchange. I highly recommend it. One of my greatest sources of information that usually proves to be pretty accurate. Elon Musk, his vision speaks to many issues. His evaluation on resources, hydrocarbons, idealistic views, progressing forward, renewable, sustainable energy. He began with a vision. That vision morphed over a period of time. Tesla having to liquidate reserve shares. A clear indication that they are ready to go bankrupt. That they're running out of money. So, let's break that down. So, Tesla looking to go bankrupt. In the last earnings call, he did discuss quite clearly, when asked, why don't you raise capital right now so that you can use it for expansion and et cetera, et cetera? And his response was very succinct and very firm. We are spending money as fast as is necessary. If I found any other reason to spend money, I would do so. I would not artificially hold up expansion for any reason. And then they turned around and liquidated up to $2.3 billion in reserve stocks. Clear indication that they're going bankrupt? Or is it possible that because the stock prices flew up so high, it would be asinine and foolish not to raise capital by using some of that reserve stock, while the value of the stock has increased exponentially? I think it's the latter. I think by using a small portion of stock, raising $2.3 billion, adding it to their bottom line and their balance sheet now, gives them the ability to expand comfortably and reasonably without any stress on the reserve cash flow. Just my opinion. I may be wrong. When it comes to supercapacitors, I always was of the thought that Elon Musk was working on a way to use regenerative braking to quicker store power in the supercapacitors and then slowly leach that into the batteries without harming the batteries, thereby giving a much larger base of energy that could be used and restored to the range of each vehicle. That was my thought process when I heard about the acquisition of Maxwell Technologies and using the dry cell and the capacitors. I was trying to figure out what way would he use those in combination. The dry cell is very obvious. It saves in space in the factory. It's a much less volatile way of processing these batteries and getting them up and ready to roll. Time-wise, it's going to be a savings. Space-wise, there's a savings. Chemicals and materials, there's a savings. And again, any way you can save on battery production reduces the price of the car, makes it more affordable, and that's what everybody's looking for, is to own a fabulous Tesla at an affordable rate. Okay? So Elon Musk's statement was, going with the supercapacitors at this point is unnecessary. So he's obviously evaluated the gains versus the cost versus the time versus the technology versus the complications that are going to come with integrating the whole system together. I'm sure when it becomes viable, those supercapacitors are going to be a part of the Tesla future. Okay, moving on. The capex on Model Y. How is it going to affect the profits in the future of Tesla? Well, when you look at how Elon Musk has been describing the process that's going into the Model Y, the single unit framework, which would eliminate the 70 parts, or 4 parts that they came down to, it's going to be molded in one part. Of course, that's not going to be the doors and stuff, unless it is going to be molded in one part, including the doors, and the doors will be cut from that process. Personally, I think the doors will be separately fabricated. So by doing that, they've saved a huge bunch of processing. They've saved multiple machines, and I'm sure time-wise, it will cut it exponentially to a degree that makes massive profitability on that vehicle, even over and above the fact that it shares about 70% of the parts with the Model 3. So already the capex is going to go down based on the sharing of the parts. It's going to go down based on the body being and frame being put together in one piece and ready to go. I think it's going to catapult Tesla over $250 billion company evaluation. $250 billion company evaluation. They have already put Volkswagen beneath them. Volkswagen, huge company, is now below Tesla in company evaluation. Okay? The market evaluation. So Model Y, I think, is a big boon. Hyperchange, once again. I'm sorry. An amazing channel. Full of incredible information. I recommend everybody go over it and visit Hyperchange. And listen. And see if what I'm telling you is accurate, partially accurate, or totally false. Elon Musk and his vision speak to many, many issues. His evaluation that there is a finite resources in hydrocarbons leads to the idealistic views that we're processing towards renewable and sustainable energy sources. He has calculated very well from the beginning of his inception into this path he's on, that this is the driving force for renewable energies. We know that hydrocarbons are going to be a finite resource, that eventually we'll run out of them. They'll try all kinds of things to try to extend that. It's only hurting the planet deeper and deeper and deeper. We're going to run out. We need to go sustainable. And his vision has pushed us in that direction. Almost every single car company out there is now coming up with electric vehicles. Jaguar, their new electric vehicle has actually taken on a huge share of their sales for the year. They don't have a very large share of the market anyways, but still, if their EV is taking on a larger share of their sales than their ICE vehicles, this is what Elon has been pushing for, is to pioneer the way and have these other people follow in his footsteps and bring the world around to a more sustainable way of living. Everything he's doing is moving us in the right direction. So Elon's vision began with an EV. Sitting down, back of the napkin math, they come up with ideas, and at first it was kind of and he decided to go the route. He had no real vision of the environmental impacts that he was going to be mitigating. When he realized the potential of what he was doing and where it was going to go, he totally devoted himself to a new direction, to build this sustainable world that we're all hoping to get to one of these days. Elon, my hat's off to you. He is not only brilliant and driven and focused, but he still has an open mind. He doesn't close himself off to facts that present themselves. And that allowed him to switch direction in midstream to an even more positive direction. If he had switched to a more negative purpose, that would be problematic. But he was not concerned about becoming a billionaire. He was concerned about the vision and how it's morphed into this sustainable energy future. SpaceX and all the other parts of his regime are now becoming noticeably larger. Sales, solar roofs, solar arrays, wind farms feeding mega packs, helping sustain grids. He has really set his teeth in motion. He's taking a chunk out of all the negativity out there and bringing some positive change to our world. Thank you again, Elon. So the liquidating of the 2.3 or up to $2.3 billion in reserve stock, I believe, was a great move, a fabulous move. And I'm 100% convinced that he will be using that $2.3 billion to possibly finish off the preparations and the construction on a Texas gigafactory to allow him to produce more cars in the U.S., more vehicles, and most likely the Cybertruck, since that's the region that is going to be best served by the Cybertruck production. It'll be closer to distribution areas. I believe as well, this is going to give them a buffer for Giga Germany. There's huge changes coming up to the S and the X as well. And I think he's got a lot tackled. Engineering is working in Giga China towards a new Tesla vehicle that's going to be distributed around the world. All of these things are going to take capital to get up and running. Yes, it's going to take less capital than all the ventures before because he's learned all the lessons from each one he's put together, but still takes capital. I believe Elon has crested the mountain. There is no more pain and suffering for Tesla to face other than a recession. Another good reason to liquidate those stocks and get the additional up to $2.3 billion in and on their balance sheet. That will give them a buffer to get through anything that may hit us coming forward. So that's our questions for today. If you have any suggestions on specific items or directions you'd like us to focus, please do leave us a comment. We'll take all comments into consideration, and we will formulate future episodes in order to accommodate those. So, thank you very much for watching. Again, please hit the like button, subscribe, become a member. This is going to help content and help the future of this channel. So, I thank you all again, and remember, never give up and never give in. But keep an open mind, because your knowledge is your power. Don't sell yourself short. Thank you. Till next time.